Hello everybody, this is Tony Gunter here. This is a short bio about me um, to let you know a little bit about my background with regards to real estate and investment and whatnot. Uh, Again, my name is Tony Gunter. Back early when I was young, I moved a fair amount with my parents. When I was young, my father was in a business that was slowly being taken over by the Japanese at that time. And that was manufacturing of electronic components like capacitors, diodes, that kind of stuff. He got out of that later. My father's an engineer, Clemson graduate, just like myself. He's a MEW, since retired. Um, I'm a I'm a father and a husband. I got one son. My wife's from Colombia. We've been married for 25 years now. I'm a dog lover. I have a German Shepherd dog. I've had one pretty much my whole entire adult life. Graduated from Clemson University in 1990 with a degree in forest management. Went to work for in that field and worked in that field for a long time. I've got cumulatively 30 years experience in forestry, forest land management, forest investment. It's all all real estate related. It's just growing a timber crop. That's how I got introduced into real estate. I've lived and worked in various places, being if I want to run through the list here: South Carolina, North Carolina, West Virginia, Florida, Oklahoma, Texas, and then back to Georgia. Moved back to Georgia in 2015. My earlier experience very extensively in forest products industries as both a forester and later as a forest products exporter. That profession led me after the 2008 housing crisis to actually get out of that business because it was just a couple things. It was being crushed basically with the housing collapse. The other thing was I kept running into the problems as far as working for other companies. These were often smaller family-owned businesses, and just couldn't get the position I was looking for. They would invariably seem to go to family members, whether they were qualified or not. We know how that works. So I had an opportunity to jump into a different industry, still export related. I got a job offer in the peanut industry and packed up the family and moved to Oklahoma and did that for a while. Enjoyed it immensely. We ended up moving from Oklahoma down into Texas, into the DFW area. We lived in Denton for several years and really enjoyed it. It was a very nice place. Very cosmopolitan for the size town it is, but it is a college town if you know anything about Denton. I was working for Peanut Sheller. That's a company that buys peanuts from growers, dries them, then shells them, sizes them, tests them, etc. We were selling peanuts to companies like M&M Mars for the peanut M&M, to peanut companies, peanut butter companies. But we also did a huge amount of exporting, which was the big reason why I went to work there. Because I had export experience and also spoke other languages. By that time I spoke fluent in Spanish and also had picked up basic Mandarin Chinese with my forest products exporting experience. So I went to work for the peanut company. I was the vice president of sales of operations. We were a pretty big company. We did $100 to $100 million dollars of sales per year, and I was selling all the peanuts except for the very low grades that went to bird food and for crushing for oil. Since then, I've left that industry. It's a very small industry, and there's very limited seats at the table with regards to big operations. That operation actually ended up going out of business because of the classic expansion and blowing up scenario that often plagues businesses. It was a 50-year company that went out of business because of that. So since I've moved out of peanuts, and I failed to mention that at that time I was always messing around with real estate. Didn't matter what I was doing. I was always dabbling around in real estate as I could based on finances and time. because I was doing an extensive amount of international travel. I had a big responsibility, man. I was doing the whole sales for that, and a lot of heavy obligations. It wasn't a job you checked off at at quitting time and went home and didn't see again until tomorrow. Very very heavy obligation. Um, Ended up after that company went out of business, the company that bought us out of bankruptcy, they knew me and they offered me a job in Georgia in Alpharetta, and I ended up moving there, taking advantage of the relocation package and everything. It got me back to the East Coast and got me closer to my parents who live in North Carolina. Um, After I left the peanut industry in 2018, without going into too many details of the why and all that, continued investing in real estate, got deeper into it, and actually left the peanut industry precisely for that reason, because there wasn't an acceptable seat for me at the table anymore, and I loved real estate and wanted to get back into it in a much heavier way, since my obligations had been reduced by leaving the export business. So in the process of buying houses and renovating houses, I also got my Georgia real estate license. I'm a licensed real estate agent, and also finished up a 3-year plan over. Actually, I finished it up over the COVID fund. Uh, Got my general contractor's license. Ended up getting everything buttoned up after 2 years, and then COVID hit and took that time to do my study and to take the test. Actually, the hardest thing about all of it was dealing with the Georgia professional labor boards people. Uh, Crazy. Took me 4 months to get through them. It was the hardest part of the whole deal. Ended up having to drive my paperwork to Macon, Georgia, to personally hand it off to them. Anyway, I don't give up. I don't give up. I'm persistent. I knew I could do it. I did it. With regards to real estate, I would consider myself certainly an expert in regards to what's known as the BRRRR technique: buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. That's how I've got all my properties. First one I did, I actually did leave a little bit of money in it when I refinanced out, but that was, I think it only took me like 3 years of collecting rent above paying the note, and I ended up having, after 3 years, I had no money in it. My other properties, it worked out real good. I ended up getting paid to own them, and it's certainly a great technique. I love it. It's not very easy to do right now because of the market conditions. There's just too much stupid craziness out there in the market, and very hard to find those kind of deals without basically becoming a wholesaler, going direct to the owner, which I'm doing, but I have to do it in a very, very focused manner. I don't have I mean, that's not my goal. It's not my goal to be a wholesaler. I'm just looking for properties with the right numbers to work. So I focus real tightly on where and what I'm advertising, trying to connect with. I have no intention or desire to compete with the big wholesalers in the Atlanta market. I don't want to burn through 15,000 a month just to be competitive with the big dogs. It's not my goal. I also have been registered. I'm registered with several private lenders, hard money lenders. I don't usually use the term private lending because I'm thinking private lender, and that's your aunt or your uncle or somebody or something like that. This is hard money firms. I am registered to broker those with several companies. I'm all about real estate. Certainly since I left my other industries and professions. You can see over my shoulder over here. See all those things on the wall. That's some of my licenses. There's a forester's license from Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and then of course I've got my real estate license, and I've actually got my little GC card tacked up there. But I'm proud of what I've accomplished. That stuff's not easy. Takes a lot of time. Takes a lot of money. You got to be pretty smart. they've all got testing on them. I mean, the real estate test was really pretty simple. Um, the general contractor test wasn't that bad. It was a test covering 21 books. I had 5.5 hours to do it, and I did it in 3. Similarly, the my registered forester license was it was an 8-hour test with no books, and I managed to get out of that in 5. And that was a long time ago. That one was. I've been in forestry for a long time. I got out of Clemson, went right to work. Took 2 weeks off, and then went straight into work. And I loved it. I loved it. But and still do. But it's the kind of business you need to be in the right position if you're going to make any money. It's very capital intensive, being like any other agricultural endeavor. High capital, low margins. It's just the way they are. So now, back to real estate. I'm vertically integrated. That's one thing. Decades of commodity, particularly like agricultural commodity experience, has taught me is the value of being vertically integrated. So between the GC license, the forester license, and the real estate license, I'm vertically integrated from raw ground to new construction, and that's where I'm turning my focus now, because the deals are so hard to come by. I am focused much more on new construction of basically build to rent kind of scenario, something like a very basic single family residence, small multis, duplex, triplex, quads, and not opposed to something like more like the garden apartments, this like 6 unit per building, something like that. Land development, because obviously I've got an extensive experience working with the land. It's nothing new for me. Nothing I find particularly intimidating about it. There's a process, just like everything that you follow. And so now that I built this race car, this vertically integrated race car, and the market's gone to hell, we're going crazy. With regards to existing, I'm looking at the new construction aspect of things. Definitely have opportunities for folks that want to be passively involved in real estate. These specifically talking about new construction loans backed by real estate, promissory note, lien on property, everything. If that's something that you'd be interested in the Atlanta market, by all means, reach out to me. I am looking for people to help me scale, to be able to do more than I can do just by myself. I've got all the tools put together and built this race car, but there's always room for a little more gas in the tank, if you know what I mean. So that's me in the short of it. Get in touch with me. Let's talk about what we might be able to do together if you're interested in real estate and passive real estate investment, particularly in the Atlanta, North Georgia, I-75 corridor, kind of the I-75 corridor between Atlanta and Chattanooga. I live in Cherokee County, which is on the northwest edge of the Atlanta metro. Not planning on going anywhere. This is one of the reasons why I moved here years ago, is because I knew the Atlanta market was going to be a good market for a long time to come. Please get in touch with me and let's have a chat. More than happy to meet with you. I'm not very far from the Atlanta airport, so if you happen to be a business travel and you're passing through the Atlanta airport, maybe you could schedule your flights to where you have a couple 2 or 3 hours of layovers, and we can meet. I'll be happy to meet you there and have a face-to-face. Really want to get to a face-to-face meeting with everybody, because it's just the way to do business, I think. So give me a shout. Take care.